Hello everybody, Guiding Halo here. This is going to be your daily hope for the 14th. I hope you're all doing well. Let's see what Spirit has in mind for us today. I'm going to start with something a little different. I'm going to pull some energy cards about how the universe has our back, and then we're going to talk about those energies, okay? When I lean towards love, I am led. So people that want to go and create change in the world, you want to go and create more finances, you want to go and create more everything, you can go ahead and bat your head against a wall and create possibly an inordinate amount of money for yourself. But what is the thing behind it? What's behind it? Is it love or is it attainment for self? Is it to help or is it attainment for self? Is it to have all of the above? Awesome. Let's lose the attainment for self. I have, in my own certain way, and I'm only talking like this with you guys because I've lost my way a little bit and my business dreams and my goals. When I started my channels, I wanted just to simply help people. And then it became, well, now I'm making money, I'd like to make more money. And the kind of helping people was there, but it became more like a job. And as soon as you lose the wanting to help people, or even the belief that what you're doing is helping people, you lose. You lose every time. So when I lean towards love, I am led. How can we lean towards love more often? That's a very good question. I'd like you guys to get out a notebook. I'd like you to write this down. How can I lean towards love? In every circumstance, I want you to write one circumstance that you feel the most challenged in. What can you lean towards love in that circumstance? Maybe the most loving thing to do is to let someone figure it out themselves. Maybe the most loving thing to do is to let someone go. Maybe the most loving thing to do is to focus on what brings you joy. I choose to learn through love. You see, there's something about learning a new way of loving, and this has been coming up for the last few months. It's unconditional love in all its forms. Like, you'll be there for yourself, you'll be there for others, you'll be there for this, but I mean, we only have so many hours in a day. So when you choose to learn through how you love, that's when you reap the biggest rewards, okay? So how can you help yourself? I want to ask you that. How can you help yourself? A lot of you may sit there and say, hell if I know. I've been trying to think of how to help myself, how to do business, how to do this, how to do that. I feel that now is coming a time where it's really time to step into doing something where it's an act of service. Not for free necessarily, but you may start that way. You may start doing an act of service for free. Perhaps you have a something you'd like to do in the legal field. Okay? Perhaps it's you're so passionate about protecting children. Perhaps it's about fighting for children's rights. Perhaps it's about maybe children are the only innocent people you could think of in this whole planet and everybody else is shit. So at least I can defend a child. Have you ever thought of maybe becoming a volunteer at a courthouse? They do that, you know. A volunteer at a courthouse and seeing how you like it and seeing what opportunities open because you've been a volunteer? Have you ever thought of, you know, talking to children about in any capacity or advocating or helping in that area, if that's where your passions are led? How about, I have a passion for creating art. I'm not sure why I have a passion for creating art. Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's doing little nifty gadget things. I don't know. But there's got to be some sort of thing that you love doing that brings you joy. Perhaps it's relationships that bring you joy. You know, for a long time in my life, I went through a period of where I felt like nothing could shake me. Not a bloody thing could shake me. I was so happy. I felt so blessed. I was so I felt at the pinnacle of what I knew existence was. And it was all while being single. And it was all while having 3 children under my roof to raise. But what happened? What did I change? What did I take control of to change? I decided, because I used to be 355 pounds, I decided to have weight loss surgery. And in doing so, it freed me from such a burden. Such a burden. I can't even tell you. Such a burden. Now, the reality is, was it just freeing me from the burden of the weight? No, it was freeing me from a burden of self-loathing. The thing is that self-loathing never left. It vanished for a little while, but it kind of was backburnered. It kind of was backburnered while I stepped into what I thought was absolute love. In fact, a lot of it was ego, and a lot of it was, wanting to be the best at something, or now I could strive for my dreams because I was thin and I felt confident in myself and I didn't have to look a certain way or be a certain whatever. The thing is, when you choose to take a stance of learning through love, you start to understand that doing that for myself absolutely was love, but true love comes from the inner soul. When you love from a place that is of purity, like you would say about your children, I love my children. If you don't have children, maybe there's your niece or nephew. It's like maybe in their books you can do no wrong. They could do no wrong. Their mom might complain about them. They might do this wrong, that wrong. And you're like, oh my God, just stop your bitch and they're awesome. You see what I'm saying? So everything is perception. And when you choose to learn through love, choose to show love and watch your life shift, choose to be love and accept people right where they're at, you watch their life shift because you love them in spite of. It's not about loving them because of. It's about loving them in spite of themselves. It's about loving yourself in spite of yourself. I choose to learn through love. And when I lean towards love, I am led. There's a situation here in someone's existence where they chose to allow egoic stance to take from them, whether your own or whether someone else's, and you allowed that fracture to happen. But I'm going to challenge you to understand that fracture was already there, and they found the only weak point that they could find. If that was the only weak point that they could find, the only weak point in your whole being that they could find, they found it and they utilized it. But I'm telling you, did it keep you down for long? Maybe it did. Maybe you're still down. I'm telling you, out of all the rest of your life, that's the only thing that they could find to do was to attack that one thing they knew would be your Achilles heel. Why? To make themselves feel better, to make themselves feel whichever it was. The point is, in giving in to them, in allowing them, in them weaving their way into that crack or whatever pain that is from childhood or whatever it is, in all the experience you've been through, in allowing those experiences to weave in that crack, you must be thankful for it, especially if it's something you have bounced back from. Because that type of pain, my friends, oh my God, have I been through some pain. That type of pain actually helps you realize that you don't want to be there anymore. It's kind of like undergoing weight loss surgery. You don't want to be in that type of pain anymore. And taking time to remove yourself from that pain and to have a higher understanding or perspective of what's going on is really going to help you the next time something in that circumstance or situation comes around. Because the reality is, when you take a back seat and stop being a teacher or even stop being a student of life, and you can't learn through love situations, love with your children, love with your family, love with everything, with things that go on, and you can't learn through that love, through the mistakes you make, through the pain that you feel, then that's when growth stops. And that's painful. That's more painful than anything because it means subsiding all of your growth you have built up to smack dab right where you used to be. It would be like me going right back to 355 pounds. So there's something about raising your standards here. And I want to talk to you about that. It's not about what people give to you. I'm raising my standards so I receive better. Raise your standards about what you expect from you. What do you expect from you? What do you expect? Is it that weight loss is it that weight you want to lose? Is that business you want to start that you're too afraid to? In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. Today I have been in that mode. Prayer, contemplation, and stillness. And what I've come to realize and learning. So what I've come to realize is that love is kind of like a nasty little 4-letter word that even goes around in the spiritual community. Because there's all different varying degrees of love. And, well, if you have self-love, that's amazing. But how do you give? If you don't give enough, well, is that really love? Wait, then there's unconditional love. Oh, wait, then there's twin flame love. Oh my gosh, if you're lucky enough. And then there's soulmate love. What if love in and of itself, we could call simply a 4-letter nasty little word because of everything we've attached to it? What if we had a whole cleaning system come through and we could start off as a newborn baby in the love department in discovering what love is for us? I'm going to tell you, a lot of what love is releasing judgment. Releasing the need for people to measure up. Because when you are in a state of making people measure up to where you're at or measure up to what it is you desire, that's when you're actually lowering your standards. When you have to force people, or you feel like you have to force people to rise up to your necessities or what you desire, and they don't do it, that's not love. That's called judgment. That's like, I'm here, you're there, you come to me. So I want to sit here and flip the script a little bit, because if you surrender and allow it to flow as it's going to flow, let it go, let it fly away, let it be done, let it be over, somehow, some way, in this powerful presence of love, you can come from a place of compassion. Why? Because your soul is all of a sudden invested in that person's growth, which in turn makes your soul invested in your own growth. You see, it's about losing judgment, and it's about being in the practice of allowing. Next card out. Energy flows where my intention goes. What's your intention? Perhaps there's something that's come around that your intention was to get it back, or to get what you rightfully deserved, or to change circumstance. Have you ever stopped to think that the circumstance you were called to was not for you to call something out of that circumstance, but for you to be in it to create the change? Did you ever stop to think? Energy flows where my intention goes. So what is it? What is your intention that you want to happen here? Is it that you want people to grow? Or is it that you're trying to take somebody or something or something out of a situation? Sometimes the best thing we can do is to walk away in order to find our center so that we can go back in and remember who we are. Because who we are manifests in such a powerful way that creates change in the universe if you can come from a central place of who you are. And understanding that what you do from this point forward creates miracles. It will create miracles. There is nothing sexier than my authentic truth. This is not about being trying to get or place blame or anything else. The truth of the situation, when someone walks away from a job or whatever, it's to lose resistance. And there's resistance in what they're feeling. So when they walk away, it's to lose resistance. It's to head to something that feels better. And when someone does this and takes that strength to walk towards something that feels better, that's when they self-empower and learn to grow through love, okay? Because they're actually starting to love themselves enough to do that, to go and find their center. Maybe even not to never talk to a person again, or never to go back to that job again, or never to do that business you used to do. But in order to come at it from a different perspective, there needs to be a break. There needs to be a break or a level of growth and understanding. If you have been coming up against roadblock after roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, I can promise you 98% of the time, it's because it's what am I getting from this situation? Not what am I giving? It's not about not having expectation. There's tons of expectation. But how about you have expectation of yourself first? You can't go and demand of others. Why? Who's gonna bow to your needs or your whims? How about where have you let go of what you should have brought to the table? That's a good question. Yeah. Hope is the conduit for miracles. You see, when you change your perception and you step into your authentic, sexy self, the trueness of who you are, the compassion, the loving person that very much, well, for me, I step back into that today, because it's been a while for me. However, when you step back into your true, authentic self, and even not even back into that, but from a higher standpoint and a higher vibration, all of a sudden, there's hope. Why is there hope? Because all of a sudden, there's a conduit for possible change, possibilities. It doesn't need to look how you thought it was going to look. It doesn't need to be a relationship. It doesn't need to be the be-all and end-all of the most amazing thing. It does have to be that, absolutely, but it doesn't have to come to you in the way you thought it was going to come to you, or who you thought it was going to come to you through, or what job you thought it was going to come to you through. So, you see, when I started this channel, I didn't even think I was going to make money. I thought, well, if I could make $200 extra a month, damn, that totally like loosened the chains on my life. And within 2 months, I made 10 times, not some more than that. Well, yeah, I don't know. It was over $3,000 in my third month of this channel, or of Guiding Halo channel. So, hope being the conduit for miracles, leaning towards love. I did this out of love. I did it out of care. I did it out of growth, out of wanting to help others, and maybe make a pittance, and I'd be able to do this, that, and the other. I had no clue that my life would take this turn. I had no clue that all things would fold in the way they have, and it's beautiful. Been absolutely freaking challenging, I have to say. But it's been beautiful because the amount of growth that's happened with me while sitting at my desk, talking to all y'all people out there that I know now aren't invisible because I do enough personal readings. So in raising your standards, how can we do that? There's one thing that's kept me true in this whole situation, this whole channel, everything else, and that is the fact that I will not do readings recorded like this that are personal readings. If I am going to talk to somebody about their life, about their business, about their whichever, it has to be through video. I want a video chat because who I'm talking to, I want to be able to see that I've created change. I want to be able to see the lessening resistance on their face. I want to be able to see that I'm going in the right direction in that moment, you see. I want to be able to create this bond with somebody. So in raising your standards, in bringing yourself to a place where you will require nothing less than to be face to face with people, face to face with who you are, go stand in a mirror. If you've had an argument with someone lately, and you remember the words you said, and maybe you even thought of 20 different better things to say when you were laying in your bed that night, I want you to go to stand in front of the mirror, and I want you to say every single thing you're saying, and I want you to take it personally. I want you to take it personally. Why? Because that's when you're going to create change. Because everything you're saying that you could one-up someone on, or do something different on, or whichever, everything that you're saying, my friends, is an absolute mirror reflection of you. So go stand in front of the mirror and say it to yourself. And then sit there and realize how it is you let yourself down. You must raise your standards. So if you're going to expect something of somebody, you damn well better be pulling the mark yourself. Yeah, and this halo here has not necessarily been pulling the mark. That's funny. Private joke. Anyways, let's get an angel message. Yesterday's reading was all about, well, actually, I'm filming this on the same day I filmed Monday's reading. So it's Sunday. And a card came out, new psychic insights and abilities were coming to you. A way to put words to things. Make sense of things in a way you never had before. Well, here I am. Yeah. Look at that. There's something needs healing. To help heal this situation, see the other person's point of view with compassion. There's somebody here that's trying to do a good work that very possibly, I know myself, I was very judgmental of. I was very judgmental of. Tried to pull them out of that situation into mine. The reality is, I feel, in hindsight, now that I have some more awareness, and I choose to learn through love. I choose to have hope through love, and that hope is the conduit for miracles. And there's nothing sexier than my authentic self. The thing is, I lost what my authentic self was. I'm telling you, hands down, my authentic self is love. Coming from love every time. And I'm not making this shit up. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've said to my children, don't worry about it, I got you. Don't worry about it, I got you. It's no worries, it's all good. Don't worry about it, I got you. Why? Because it's unconditional love. Somewhere in my life and in that choice, I made a decision that my children, I would love them no matter what. Didn't matter what they did. They could be in jail for committing a crime or whatever. I said, well, I'll bring you bread and water. I guess that's the best I could do. I was poor at the time. Don't judge me. Anyway, you see what I'm saying? So when you lean towards love, that unconditional type of love, no one needs to be a certain way to have your time. No one needs to be a certain way to exist for you. If you want to be in that person's world or in that job, it's time for you to raise your standards for you. And if you cannot be in that place, then you need to say, look at this. I'm going to send out love here. I'm going to say, I'm so sorry. I'm going to say, thank you so much for the experience. And I'm going to say, I will be here, and anytime that you guys need to talk or want to talk or whichever. It's about letting go in absolute love. Somebody's expecting you to try and control them. That's what I'm saying. And it's time not to. It's time to let them process. It's time to let them be. It's time to let that job go. It's time to let that track forward that you were on be. And I want you all to start writing down and setting goals of what it is you want to see yourself as, what it is you want to move towards energetically, what it is, the kind of love that you want. I'm not talking about relationship. I'm talking about you raising your standards for you. To help heal this situation, see the other person's point of view with compassion. So how can you see somebody's point of view with compassion when you've been in the energy of what's in it for me? There is no compassion because it's a very selfish thing. But when you let go with love, like I just spoke about, then what happens? It's going to floor somebody. It's going to floor a boss. It's going to floor your family. It's going to floor everybody. Why? Why? Because they're not expecting that. I feel like somebody's already taking so much from them, or a job is taking so much from you. It's time to let it go in love. So when you go with wanting to take, perhaps it's time to go and say, what can I give? If not to somebody else or to a job, to yourself. And perhaps leaving a job is giving to you. Perhaps leaving a situation that's not good with love in relationship is good for you. But if you can let it go with love instead of hardship, that's going to bring healing for not just everybody, but like everybody. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. You are a light worker. You see? See what I'm saying here? New way of learning to love. God needs you to shine your divine light and love, light, like an angel upon the earth and all of its inhabitants. So what have you been called here to do? It's not just about shining your light for people at work, or just for family, or just for your children. It's about a whole encompassing thing. Now, are you going to raise your standards for you? Hold yourself to a higher standard as to what you bring forward to people? Are you? Because I really think you should. I know I sure as hell should. And y'all might be sitting there going, man, you do so much for other people. I'm telling you, I might do lots for you here, but what I've been putting out in the world, in my personal shit, has been rather shit. I'm not going to lie. It's been rather shitty. And I'm learning a new way of channeling my intention, putting my, you know what I'm saying, energy flows where your intention goes, channeling my intention so that it flows in the correct direction. Oh, look at this. Remember I talked about money. So leaning towards love and being of service and giving. When was the last time you said to the person that you know, has irked you or doesn't this and doesn't that, what can I do for you? I'm here to help. How can I fix it? What can I fix? What can I do? What can I do for you? How can I be of support? I am the angel of abundance. You will receive the money that you need, and God is in charge of how that will happen. Have faith. You see, there's something too, I think, that y'all been thinking about doing that's maybe been put on hold because of all this up in your headedness, which is not about love. This up in your head is not about who you want to be, you know. And a situation needs healing and understanding and love and compassion. Yeah, it does. Yeah. You're a teacher here. Abundance is coming to you as soon as you lean towards love. Choose to lean towards love. In any moment, you can choose love as the direction of the universe. And energy flows where your intention goes. If you set the intention to go outward and be love to people, doesn't matter who it is, just be love. Oh my God. I got like a gnaw in my soul about that phrase. I used to say that all the time, be love, and it sounds so coy to me. It just sounds so old. Here's a word. We are going to illuminate love. Ha ha! There you go. We are going to illuminate love in each situation. People that can't see love in their situation, we're going to go in there and show them that there's love in this situation. We're going to go in there and show them where there's fear in a situation. We're going to go in them and show them where they are doing well and why it is that they're facing such struggle. Us light workers, yeah, we are. I'm telling you guys, there's a new power about, and it's all led from a place of love. Speaking of which, I love you guys very much. I hope it resonates. I'll talk to you again soon.